how I would describe my church life before Northridge is actually really, really good. It was one of the things that I was kind of afraid of in moving from the north to the south, is that I might not be able to find the same kind of church with the same kind of feel, because my kids loved going to church, and that's not something that I'd ever had in any religion my parents decided to practice when I was a kid, and that was something that was just really, really important to me. So finding Northridge so quickly, where immediately we felt like family, was just really amazing. So I had a great church life prior to Northridge. It just, the thing that was probably really different, though, is that it was a much bigger feeling church, in that, you know, if you didn't really know somebody, you might kind of get lost in the crowd, and that didn't make my husband feel very comfortable, there. So.
How has coming to Northridge changed your life?
So, coming to Northridge has changed my life, like, on multiple different levels. So, the first thing, and the probably the most obvious thing, if you've been coming here at all or coming here for a while, is that it's not the kind of place that you have to be itchy scratchy about inviting people to. And to look back over the last 5 years that we've been attending Northridge, there's like a trickle-down effect that I can see through the people that I have invited, like Emma Bowman, now Emma Sneed, who was a part of my unit. And once you get to have a spiritual conversation with somebody, you know, you don't have to feel inhibited in taking the next step and inviting them to come to church. You know, so I look at Emma, and I look at her now husband Heath, who she had invited. And then I look at people like Sabrina Hellman and her husband, whom they had invited. And that is really impactful to just encourage you to keep inviting, I think, as well, to just kind of see that trickle-down effect. There are other, probably more obvious reasons. If you know my family, and probably a lot of you don't know my family, but it was probably about 2 years ago that my husband finally decided that he would start coming to church with us as a family. And this is the kind of place where he felt comfortable doing that. I found my faith as a Christian, after my husband and I were already together. And it's something that I have prayed for and prayed for and prayed for a long time. And I saw him initially just kind of sit in a chair in the corner, and then really participate in community group, and then serve with me behind the counter at Children's Check-In, and be okay talking to people. And, and now it's not my church friends, it's our church friends. And we do things so much more as a family. And that has been a major, major impact on my life. And one of the coolest things ever is that, recently I got to baptize my son. And like I said before, when I first came to Northridge, or when I first found Northridge, one of my biggest fears was not finding a church that my kids loved just as much as I did. And obviously that's not the case. We joke around all the time, as we're checking kids in, that every kid that walks through the door feels like they own this place. And that's really just amazing to see.
What would you say to someone who's been coming to Northridge for a while, but they're hesitant about going all in?
I would say that there's probably not many more gratifying feelings than knowing that you're 100% committed to the work that really is being done for Christ in this church. And you can feel it. You can feel it when you walk in the door that this is the kind of place where people are missional in life. And, you know, I think that when you realize that you could be doing more, you realize that maybe I'm not as in as I thought I was, you know, that there's a next step that you can take to be supportive, to be there, to be part of, to be really a part of, you know, what's going on, and reaching people that otherwise wouldn't be reached.